Hello, everyone. My name is Elizabeth Adams. This is the weekly Tropical Atlantic Marine Weather Briefing. A series of cold fronts are expected to move over the tropical Atlantic this week, producing widespread strong winds and rough seas, mainly from off the coast of the southeastern United States through the central Atlantic. The first in this series will emerge off the coast of the southeastern U.S. tonight into early Monday, with widespread strong winds and rough seas occurring from Florida and the Bahamas into the central Atlantic through midweek. The second cold front will enter the central Atlantic on Wednesday, reinforcing significant seas in this region, as well as producing fresh to strong winds in the wake of the front. Finally, a third cold front is forecast to move into the same region Friday into next weekend. Here's a look at the conditions across the Atlantic today. Low pressure is anchored over the south central Caribbean Sea, and this is supporting fresh to strong trade winds and rough seas over the central basin, with the strongest winds occurring offshore of northern Colombia. Winds will pulse to near gale force in this region tonight. Elsewhere, a residual easterly swell continues to support rough seas east of the Lesser Antilles and through the passages into the eastern Caribbean, and a mixed northerly and easterly swell over the northeastern tropical Atlantic is leading to 8 to 10 foot seas. Seas in both of these regions will slowly subside through Monday. Finally, a cold front moving over the southeastern U.S. is slated to push off the coast by early Monday, leading to increasing winds and building seas over the western tropical Atlantic and the Gulf of America. By Monday morning, the cold front will be progressing rapidly towards the south and east from the central Atlantic through the Bahamas. Widespread strong to locally near gale force winds are expected in the wake of the front, with these winds developing offshore Florida and through the Bahamas by Monday morning, with winds expanding eastward through the day. Strong winds are also forecast to develop through the Florida Straits and into the eastern Gulf of America by Monday afternoon and over the northern Caribbean Monday night, including in the lee of Cuba, through the Windward Passage, and south of Hispaniola as high pressure builds in the wake of the front over the eastern United States. Widespread rough seas of 8 to 10 feet will accompany these winds over the western tropical Atlantic, including through the Florida Straits, and seas in excess of 12 feet will be possible east of 70 west by Monday evening. In the Caribbean, strong to locally near gale force winds will continue to pulse offshore of Colombia, and these winds are expected each day this week. By Tuesday, the cold front is expected to extend from the central Atlantic southwestward to just north of the Greater Antilles. Widespread strong to locally near gale force winds and rough seas will continue in the wake of the front, especially as high pressure builds off the coast of the eastern U.S. Rough seas are expected to prevail through the Florida Straits and over much of the western tropical Atlantic, including through the Bahamas and the Atlantic passages into the northern Caribbean Sea. And very rough seas, peaking near 12 to 15 feet, will expand towards the south and east. Elsewhere, fresh to strong northeast winds will continue to pulse over the northern Caribbean, and these winds are expected to continue through late this week. On Wednesday, the cold front will continue its eastward progression while weakening, supporting mainly moderate to fresh winds behind the front. However, widespread rough seas will continue, with 10 to 14 foot seas continuing over the central basin. Elsewhere, a new cold front is slated to enter the central tropical Atlantic on Wednesday, supporting widespread fresh to strong north to northwest winds behind the front through Thursday. A very strong northerly swell is forecast to follow the front by Wednesday evening, renewing very rough seas over this region through late this week. On Thursday, a significant swell event associated with the new cold front will unfold, leading to widespread very rough seas of 12 to 18 feet, impacting areas east of 70 and as far south as 20 north by early Friday morning. Winds will gradually diminish behind the front by early on Friday. Farther east, residual rough seas of 8 to 11 feet from the first cold front will linger in the northeastern waters towards the Greater Antilles. In the Caribbean, winds will continue to pulse to fresh to strong speeds, supporting rough seas near the strongest winds. Finally, for Friday, the front will continue to progress towards the south and east, and very rough seas will expand in the wake of the front. Significant very rough seas of 12 to 17 feet will reach as far east as 40 west by Friday night. Seas are expected to slowly diminish from northwest to southeast by Friday night. However, Another cold front is slated to move into the same region and follow a similar path over the central basin by next weekend, renewing strong winds and rough seas in the same region. Elsewhere, strong winds will become mainly confined to the south central Caribbean. Thank you for watching. Please visit hurricanes.gov/marine for the latest forecast information. Have a safe week.